Okay. All right. So, hello everyone. This is Akash Tiwari, and I'm working for Vision Technologies, and I have around 12 plus years of IT experience. I'm currently working from home, which is I'm basically from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, and uh, I have around 5 plus years of IT, Scrum Master and Release Train Engineer experience, where I have worked in Scrum, Safe, and currently working in Spotify. Recently completed my certification on SPC, which is Scaled Agile Program Consultant, and I love to travel. I've been to quite a lot of places in the south, as well as planning to go here in north. I did not get much time because I did my masters from Hyderabad and then got placed into different cities in southern part of India. So I love cooking, traveling, as well as playing cricket in my free time. So that's about my brief introduction. With this, I guess we can get going. So this whole session, which I'm going to take today, is mainly for those who are new to Agile and wants to understand what is Agile, why this whole buzz is around Agile. Everybody is moving towards Agile. Why is so much buzz around Agile, and when we should use Agile? Then I'll take you to the some history about Agile, where I'll be talking about manifestos and principles of Agile. Then I'll show you why what is the difference between Agile and Waterfall. So with this, let me start presentation. Uh, so I would like to have an if you are speaking, I'm getting an echo. Please go on mute. So I would like to have an interactive session. I want to hear from you. What is your understanding on Agile? So what do you guys think? What is Agile? Anybody? There is no right or wrong answer.
Okay, you can unmute yourself and speak out. Yeah.
Akash, Agile is basically a methodology which helps in developing a software in a iterative manner.
Good. Thank you, Parul. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Gurraj here. So, Agile, we could state something as the ability to change ourselves, right? Like not waiting on long time, making quick decisions based on the situations that we have. Could be anywhere, not just in the software development, but anywhere.
Awesome. Thank you, Gururaj.
People are messaging also. Someone saying fast delivery, time to market, Agile is a mindset.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, you all are right. There's no, as I said in the beginning, right? There's no right or wrong answer. So as you have already said, some say it is a methodology, some say it is a framework, which gives us a series of steps to follow. But yes, it is Agile is to me is more of a philosophy, because it requires a mindset change, and someone clearly stated that it is a mindset, because unless otherwise you understand Agile and you have that correct mindset, there is gonna be no success in your Agile journey. That is for sure, because it requires quite a lot of you need to have quite a lot of changes in your thinking process, where you have to accept and respect the Agile way of working first of all, where people get scared. Okay, we have to finish everything in 2 weeks. How is it possible? And all those things comes into my come to our mind. So don't forget, don't worry about that. That's all. The way we have set up the Agile is set up, or Agile has suggested how we can do it. It is not mandatory that
those of you on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you've been on a binge of the formula.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's not only in like you can implement Agile not only in your working environment, but you can also implement Agile in your day-to-day activity. That would help you to retrospect at times. Okay, so far I have done these many things. These were my goals. Have I achieved that? So I personally use some sort of Agile principles or some sort of Agile way of thinking in terms of doing some personal stuff too. So it's not about only it only works in software industry. It can be it works in any industry. It can be worked in it can be used in any industry. So you as you all might be aware that there is a very good quote from Darwin which says that it is not the strongest or the fittest who survives, it is the most flexible who survives. So that is what Agile is. We are the Agile gives you the flexibility to meet the customer requirement even though they are frequently changing. So I have found this very slide. Okay, come on, go to the next one, please. This slide this slide is very I found it very interesting, and I feel that this is one of the good slides which explains the agile way of sorry okay it clearly explains, or it helps us understand what exactly agile is all about. So what is your take on the portion one where it says not like this and like this? Anybody would like to give
Well, in
any?
part one, probably the customer is just getting to see the end product, right? From the start till step three, he wasn't able to exactly achieve what he wanted, but right
Mhm.
at the end, he is happy with what he got. But in
Okay,
the second approach, it's an iterative one.
good, good observation. Thank you, Dishan. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
I
so value. I mean, there's no value given until the end of the product.
Mm-hmm.
You can say from. I mean, you can work on one tire, you can work on two tires.
Right.
So but then on the like this, the agile one, at least there's something of value that the
Right.
customer can use. Well,
Good. Thank you, Idris. Yes, as people think that agile is about small work which needs to get delivered in the incremental way, but we tend to forget, and we really don't understand the basic concept that agile says it is an iterative and incremental model where you provide something useful to the end user. Okay, that is one of the key thing. It could be any IT software, or it could be any vehicle, or it could be anything where you are using agile. It always says that it should be useful to the end user whenever we are delivering, be it in 2 weeks iteration, be it in 3 weeks iteration, 4 weeks iteration, but it should be something useful to the end user. The reason is we want to have a feedback. See, we want user to use it and provide us a feedback so that we can improve. And he after using, because whenever we talk about agile at time we also say that here the requirements are not fixed, right? So let the user use it, let him decide, was it really this is what he wanted, or do we really wanted he wanted something else, and he can provide that feedback, and we accept that and welcome that change and say, okay, thank you for your feedback, let us work on it based on your requirement, what you have just suggested, and then we will give you another working software or working product. So in this first slide, in this slide, the top view says that, okay, what people think is, we customer said that I wanted a vehicle to travel from place A to place B. He did not specify. He just said that, okay, I want to it should be a motorable vehicle where I don't have to put much efforts, and I just need that a vehicle to travel from place A to place B. So what people think is, we bought a tire, but can we get a feedback, as Idris said correctly, that can we get the feedback out of the tire? No, right? Then what we say, okay, it is an iterative way. We bought tires in the first iteration, and in the second tires we added all the 4 tires onto the base, and then in the third iteration we created the structure, and then in the fourth iteration we delivered the whole car. But was it really customer wanted? So in the second iteration it clearly tells. So whenever customer says that I need a vehicle to travel from place A to place B, we thought about it and we gave them a skateboard. Then after using the skateboard, or after delivering the skateboard, after the our iteration, we gave it to him and he used it, and he said that, okay, it is good, but what I want is I need a controlling feature, or where I can which I can use to maneuver this skateboard from left to right, and use and I can
बंद कर लूं?
travel.
हैं? चल रहा है, मैं सुन रहा हूँ. यार ये सुनने वाला है, मैं ऐसे नहीं कर सकता.
If you can mute yourself, please. Anuj. Thank you. All right. So he said that he provided us a feedback. I need something, so that we gave him a scooter, which has the a feature where he can maneuver. It has an handle.
Satish, by default, can you mute everyone except others?
Yeah. Thank you very much. All right. Then after this, after using this scooter, he said that, okay, it is good, but what I wanted was I wanted to have a seat. Also, if I can reduce the efforts, and if you can use some pedals through which I can travel from place A to place B. Then what we delivered in the next iteration is a cycle, a bicycle. Then after that, what happens, he used it, he provided a feedback that, okay, it is good, but what I feel is that it is taking a lot of manpower from me. So if you can do do some changes to it and make it a motorable cycle. So what we gave him a bike. After the next iteration, after using the bike, he came up with a requirement, or he said that, okay, actually it is good, this is meeting my requirement, I can get a fresh air, I can travel from place A to place B in a quick time. It is all motor driven, I don't have to do much efforts, but it would be more useful if you can provide me more security in terms of not getting hit, at least in some sense, if you can provide me some security, uh, and also if you can provide me a way where we can enjoy, I can enjoy the weather, and as well as uh, it helps me, or it gives me a comfort. Then we came up with an open hooded car and we provided to him, and the customer was happy. So this is how the whole agile thing works. It is not that we are delivering something which is not useful to the customer. Whenever we are delivering in whatever iteration, in how many days of iteration, we have to deliver something useful to the end customer. Then only we are achieving, or we can say that, okay, we are really working in an iterative and incremental model. So let's go to the next slide then, where I'll just talk about a definition from definition standpoint. So as Agile says, it is an iterative approach for the project management and software development that helps team deliver value. We don't believe in a big bang launches whenever we talk about Agile, right? We work on cumulative uh, goals achievements. We don't say, okay, you give us a project and after 6 months or 8 months we'll give you a good working software which can handle a number of users and all those big uh, all those things. But what we say, let you give us a requirement, we will work on it, and based on your feedback we will make those changes and we will continue to deliver. And that would be a cumulative. I'll show you in next slide when I say what do I mean by cumulative goals which we achieve in while using the agile way of working. Then the question comes in, okay, it's all good, then why we use Agile? So we understood what is Agile, then why shall we use Agile? So as it says, as per the definition, I can mention that, okay, Agile methodology helps us to increase team performance, improve customer satisfaction, increase project versatility, and also the organization who have adopted the Agile methodologies are able to respond to the market dynamics and complete more of their project successfully. So why is it why Agile is a success? So as you pretty much know that every organization or everybody is trying to move towards Agile because they feel SDLC is too old and won't work. That is not the case. But everybody wants to be competitive in the market. At current situation, like in the current situation, where everybody is coming up with some or other idea, and over a period of some months they are just like they are completely shutting down the other competitors in the market. for example, let me just tell you, it's not that they have shut down, but it is a difference. I would just tell you, if you don't change as per the need of the customer, or if you don't change as per the situation, the current situation. You all have seen Nokia, right? Nokia had a very good grip over the mobile phones. We have seen Ford has like around 100 plus years of experience before Tesla came in, right? Nokia was like, they did not adapt to the market situation. They did not change as per the customer need, and they failed drastically. Now they are coming up again with the new Android things and all those things. So these are the few examples where you don't change if you don't change as per the current market situation, or if uh, you don't have that flexibility to adapt the changes, then there would be a failure for you for sure. So that's what made people think about Agile. So there are a lot of benefits, as I just said. That's it satisfies the customer. That is the most priority item, because they are the ones who are paying our bills as well, right? So because they are the ones who are paying, because any customer can hire or fire anybody in any of the organizations. So customer is the end, and we want a happy customer at the end of the day. And then it improves the quality because of the multiple floodgates which it provides, where the quality is built in, and quality is one of the key things whenever we are working in an agile way of working. Then adaptability, better communication, predictability, and reduces risk. So if you all might have seen a picture over the web somewhere, where the customer wanted an elephant, and he got a buffalo with a trunk and big ears, right? So we don't want that sort of thing to happen in our products, or in our if I'm a customer, I do not want whatever I wanted. I want the exact same thing, but I really do not want something which is just being made to make me think, okay, this is what you expected. So these are all the benefits of Agile. Better communication, because it's one of the principle. It says that and we believe in individual and interactions over processes and tools. So that's where the better communication comes in. Also, after few sprints, when you are matured, your team is matured, and you are in the maturity level in terms of Agile, then predictability also comes in. So that is the thing why we use Agile, and I'll give you some stats as well. So it is way back, like around 2020 data I am showcasing it, and recently in one of our Telegram groups, I believe Sharat or Satish has shared a recent PDF where it shows the difference between projects which were successful in Agile, and it was more of a stats for Agile and different frameworks which as a whole in the world people are using. So you see the large projects, Agile is success. It's just more than doubles your success rate, as well as for the medium projects, it's kind of again gives an exceptional results. But in terms of small projects, it's a very tight race, where it just gives 59% of percentage of success, as compared to 45 in terms of waterfall. So waterfall is good. It is not that waterfall is going away from the market and it's all about Agile. Waterfall is going to remain as it is, because there are projects where the requirements are fixed, where things are not going to change. We know what exactly customer knows what exactly he wants. Then and it's a very small project where we can accommodate all those things. So that's where the waterfall fits in successfully, and it would continue to run in parallel to Agile world. So that's the reason, one more reason why people try to go for Agile, and they are coming out of waterfall way of working. Then the question comes in, okay, we know what is Agile, and why people are moving Agile. Then when shall we use Agile, right? So agile is basically meant for complex problems where you do not know, like customer does not know. If you see this Stacy matrix, which I have showcased here, I don't know if it is properly visible to you all, but these x-axis and y-axis talks about far from certainty and close to certainty and far from certainty. So if your requirements are pretty simple and your requirements are simple and they are very close to certainty, and your technology is fixed where that is also very close to certainty, then you can go ahead with your waterfall way of working. Then if it is complicated and slightly in between, far from certainty and close to certainty, and similar goes for technology, then also you can either use agile or you can use waterfall. It's up to you, but it is mainly for complex and chaotic projects where we do not know, we do not have any uh, certainty about requirements. We do not know the clear requirements, and we also do not know if the Java will work, or Azure or whatever technology will work for us. Then it's more of an experiment which we are doing, and whatever works for us, we will take it up and we'll go from there. So that is where we should use agile. Okay, so in the definition, if you want to read it's really well. Agile works really well when the product vision or future features are not well defined, and agile allows product owners to adjust requirements and priorities along the way to take advantage of the opportunities and ultimately deliver a better product to all of the project stakeholders. So this is the reason, and this is the basically the thing where when we can think of using agile. Okay, now what is next? I'll just take you back to the Agile Manifesto and how this whole thing got involved in it. It is a story around 2001, back in 2001, where some great minds from their respective fields came together in a ski resort, and they met to talk, they skied, they relaxed, and they tried to find a common ground, and of course to eat. So they discussed, they did not discuss basically about agile, because they just discussed how, and whichever field they were in, how they are able to achieve more success, and is there a better way of doing the development, software development. They all discussed in, and then the result came on as which is currently known as Agile Manifestos and Principles. So I have given a link in this PPT. You can go to that manifesto link, and you can read about all this history. So what is Agile Manifesto? So Agile Manifesto is nothing but it's a way where they have uncovered a better way of developing. That was the main reason they all met and they all discussed. So they just uncovered a better ways of developing software. So they came up with 4 values, which are individual and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. Having said that, they also said that, okay, while there is a value in the item on the right, but we value items on the left more. So we believe, like they believe that if within the team individuals are interacting more rather than waiting for emails exchange, or the tools, like for example, if there is a tool through which they need to get some approvals and all those things. So individual interaction is more, because what happens if you are sitting next to each other, right? This very manifesto value introduce the co-location thing, where we try to fix or fit all our team together in a single co-located place. But also, again, where this is not possible, we came up with the distributed agile. So again, so individual and interactions over processes and tools, they basically wanted to see to reduce the time which gets wasted over the emails and the processes and tools, where we have to wait for some SLAs to, just a second, for some SLAs to get some inputs. So what they said, okay, you just turn your chair, ask your fellow colleagues, and do the discussion. Okay, whatever help you need. Then again, working software, as we all, as I said in the beginning as well, right? Working software is the primary goal whenever we are in whichever whatever number of days of iteration we are following. Working software is the one thing which we focus more, because that is something which is working, which is useful to the end user, and they can provide a feedback on. So creating a big 100 pages of user documentation, user manual, without and at the end of the result is that the customer, like the software does not work as expected, so then there is no point of having that huge documentation, right? So what they say is, let the working software be with the customer, let them use it, and they provide us a feedback rather than be focusing mainly on documentation. Then again, they said that, okay, since the customer is the primary goal, customer is the one who is requesting the software, he is the one who has his vision, like what exactly he wants. So he said that, okay, the contract negotiation is important. They said that contract negotiation is important because that's the way we are getting our breads and butters. But we also need customer collaboration, because if the customer is not collaborating, if he is uh, not providing us a proper feedback, he's not letting us know what exactly he needed, because at the end he is the one who has to use this software, or the end product, right? So if he is not collaborating, then having a good contract having a good contract also will not yield as much success. So they said customers should collaborate more whenever we are working in agile, because that they are the ones who are going to use it, use the end product. Then as we say that responding to change over following a plan. So we say in terms of agile, we say that we welcome the change at any point of time, right? So they said, okay, you provide us a feedback and we will take those feedback up, and we will not just stick to our timelines. Okay, we have to finish our development by 3 months of from today, and then after that testing will happen. Then anything after the deployment, anything which comes in, you have to raise an change request, which is a way of SDLC, right? So we said that, okay, no, we are responding to change, we will respond to change. Whatever customer feedback we will get, we will apply that, and we will try to make customer happy by applying those changes. And that's where the mindset or the whole mindset comes into the picture, right? Where you develop something after 2 weeks of iteration. The customer in your sprint review and in your demo call, somebody says, okay, this is not what exactly I expected out of this user story. Then again, because you might, as a developer or tester, we might think, okay, we spend a lot of time, a lot of efforts in developing this uh, web page or any application, and at the end customer is not ready to accept it. Instead, what we say, okay, this is what we develop, you use it, we take the feedback, in the next iteration we will change it, and we will make it as you expect. So this is what Agile Manifesto is all about. uh, then with this 4 manifestos comes the Agile Principle. So it's pretty much the much elaborated way, much elaborated things mentioned here. You can read about it in the interest of time. If I have enough time, I will, so I can talk about it. So there are 12 principles which came out of that discussion, where we say that, okay, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer, and how we do it, we will do uh, we will do through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. That is working software. Okay, we will continuously delivering means we will deliver every iteration. And early delivery means, okay, after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever iteration we have decided, after that we will deliver something workable or something useful to the end user. Then the second principle comes in, where it talks about welcoming changing requirements even late in the development. Agile process harness change to the customer's competitive advantage. So customer is our primary focus, or customer is our highest priority, and his competitive advantage is something which we have to respect. And that's the reason we say, okay, we are welcoming the change, and we will make the changes even in the late in the development. So even if you come up with a change after the at the time of sprint review, or in between the software development process, you come up with a change and we accept it. But again, there are a lot of pros and cons. It is not that we just simply say, okay, you came up with a change, now let's work on this change. There are different ways to handle these requirements. Then the third point comes up with says that deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. So as you all might be aware, that the maximum iteration in an agile world is of 4 weeks, not more than that. So anything which is going beyond 1 month, it should not be considered in the iteration. We have to reduce it to, if we want to work in agile way, we have to reduce it or keep it between a couple of weeks to a month cycle. Then as it says, the preference is to the shortest or shorter time scale. So whichever works fine for us, we will take it up, because we have to deliver software frequently and we have to see if the timelines work. Then the fourth point comes up. Business people and developer must work together, so daily throughout the project, right? So business people are the ones who have the requirement, or who work with closely with the customer, and they don't know exactly what customer, or at least they are in the discussion where they find out, okay, what exactly customer is looking for. So they both have to work together. That's why the PO and dev team works very closely in order to uh, achieve the project success. Then build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. So this is where that's very interesting point, because people think whenever we work in the agile world, right, people think that, okay, we are being closely monitored for our day-to-day activities, and we have to provide a status update on every end of the day or start of the day based on your stand up. But it is not the case. We what we are trying to say here is that we trust you. Whenever we set up a sprint goal, we trust the whole team. They are the ones who are taking all the decisions, because if then a term which we use in agile world is decentralized decision making. So what we say is that decision power, making the decision power, should be within the teams where the information lies. So that's about uh, uh, giving them the environment and support they need, whatever support they need. If they need any sort of help, we are there to help them out, to remove any blockers on any impediments they face. So the sixth one talks about the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within the development team is face-to-face conversation. This is what I was talking about, where you can just turn your chair and talk to your colleague and ask for help, or you can provide help to somebody. Because if we are discussing face to face over the calls, what we have observed that people do multitasking, right? So they say that, okay, the best and efficient and most effective way of conveying information is face to face. That's where the co-location thing came into existence. Then working software is the primary measure for progress, as you said, as you might have seen in point 1, point 2, and point 3 also. We all it all talks about working software and delivering early, right? So the working software is the primary measure of success. If your software is not working after waiting for 6 months, then there is no point of having that software, right? Because you have lost already 6 months, and in that 6 months the competitors have gone way far ahead from you. So working software is the primary focus or primary measure of progress. If your software is like, for example, if we talk about, if you all are aware of WhatsApp, right? So it introduced a chat over internet. Then from there they evolved their application, and then now we are able to do a group calling as well. So this is where we came, and like in that same time the hike came, and other chatting platform also came, and but none of those got that much success as WhatsApp got, right? Then while processes promote sustainable development, the sponsors Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. So in agile world, the project goes in the iteration fashion, and everybody sponsors, developers, or the users should maintain consistent pace. Like if there are uh, requirement changes, user should be able, you should be able to inform the team. The developer should be able to work on those changes, and all this whole chain continues. Then continuous attention to a technical excellence and good design enhances agility. So also have to, we do not have to just create software and bring it to the market. We also have to make sure that technical excellence is achieved, and there are good designs which can help us achieving the agility. The simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. So that's where we talk about product backlog and sprint backlog. So if we do not have a good backlog, healthy backlog, right, then at some stage of at after some months, or some at some point, you might not have anything to look in the future. You might not have anything to work on. So that's again one of the key principles, that we have to maximize the amount of work which is not done. We have to keep looking for improvements. We have to keep looking for changes which can help the end user, or users can also suggest that, okay, these are the changes we want. So we need to have that good balance. Then best architecture requirements and design emerges from self-organizing teams. So self-organizing team is one of the key element or key term which we use, because what we want is, there is no project manager who is suggesting team to do what, right? So it is the team who has to work very closely. They have to organize themselves in terms of finishing the work, or in terms of raising a right question at the right time, all those things. So anything, the best architecture requirements and design emerges from the organizing teams, the teams which are able to achieve the self-organization, or which are self-organized. They tend to give us a better design, and also a good architecture. Then the last one is about regular intervals. The team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. So yes, one of the key things with Agile is that it gives you the discipline. It provides you the discipline as well, where we are meeting on the regular intervals. Like after every 24 hours, we have our stand up, right, where we talk about, okay, what we achieved towards the sprint goal, and what are we gonna do next to achieve that, and if there are any issues or blockers. So this way, meeting regularly on a cadence based, discipline based way of meetings, it helps us to see if we are on track. If not, then let's tune in, or let's adjust based on our current situation, and see if we can achieve our sprint goals, and we can still get the success. So these are all 12 principles which came out of that meet, which where the all great minds met. So now I'll just talk about quickly on difference between agile and waterfall. So as you all are aware, right, a waterfall is a sequential process where we say requirement designing. First the requirement gathering will happen, then the designing will happen, the development, then testing, and then deployment. And we always come to a big bang outcome here at the end of 6 months, 8 months, and a year, or whatever is the timeline. But what agile says that we do all of this in a single iteration. Sometimes we get challenged by the scrum teams that, okay, how is it possible we cannot do the development and testing in a single sprint? So for that, we have different approaches where we use smaller user stories, and all those things comes into picture. So but agile says we do everything, all of the SDLC, because that is the base, that is not going anywhere, because that is something which we have to do all throughout our development journey, right, or software development journey. So what agile says that we do a bit of everything in a single iteration, and give a smaller outcome, or a small goal which we can achieve. Similarly, as I said previously in my slide, in my presentation, like I will talk about cumulative outcomes or cumulative goals. So you see, in single iteration, we achieved some goal, then that got accumulated in the second sprint, and then at the end, in the third sprint, the whole software started working. For example, let me give you an example of Amazon website, right? In the first iteration, let's say we gave user the login page. Then in the second iteration, we gave the ability to search for products. In the third, we gave the ability to in the third iteration, team worked on the checkout process and all those things. So this is whenever we are talking about login pages, we are saying that if we are working on the login pages, we have to do the develop, we have to understand the requirement, we have to do the designing, we have to do the development, we have to do the testing, and we have to deploy. So every 2 weeks there should be something deliverable, some valuable delivery should be ready for the end user. So does everything is green and agile? Then no, I would say no, because there are pros and cons to everything. So at times people feel that the outcomes and timelines are very less predictable, because when we say it's a continuous approach and we kind of do an iterative way, then it people think that okay, it's less predictable. We do not know after 3 months whether we will be able to get the software, because of the changing requirement. Then the customer or the product owner must invest in the project. So it is one of the key thing. If your product owner or the business is not involved much in your project, then you might see quite a lot of challenges in your project. Then documentation is not a deliverable of agile. So we don't, as I said in one of the principles, right, that one of the manifestos, that we give preference to working software over comprehensive documentation. So documentation is not a deliverable for agile. Whenever we say, we always talk about something working, which can be used by the end user. Then rework is inevitable. Yes, we welcome the change, and rework will be there in terms of changing requirements. Then cost of agile development methodology is slightly more as compared to other development methodologies, because here things are not fixed, right? We are not talking about waterfall where the project is fixed and somebody has given the estimates and team has to abide by those timelines. So here things change based on the customer requirement, and then yes, there is slightly a cost is slightly higher on the agile development, and it is not useful for a small development project. So definitely, because if you have a fixed requirement, and if you have you know what exactly you need, then there is no point of using agile, right? Because whenever we talk about agile, we talk about where the requirements are not fixed. We do not know, customer also does not exactly knows what he wants. So in those cases we use agile. But then if that's again, it cannot be, it can be used, but majority of the time we have seen that it is good that we stick to waterfall in terms of small development projects. So that's about it. I'm open for questions if there are any. I hope it was useful.
Akash, before we open it for questions, right, I just want to add a couple more points on top of what you have.
Yes, please.
With respect to the principles, right, we have, I think, 9th, 10th principle says continuous addiction of technical excellence, right? When it says technical excellence, it applies at the individual level, right? Sorry, 9th one. It applies at the individual level, at the team level, and at the organization level, right? Individual level, people need to think of what are the latest and greatest technologies that they need to acquire so that they can be able to support the projects in those lines, right? And at the team level also, people need to understand how they can acquire those cross-functional skill set that will help the projects to deliver faster. And at the organization level, they need to look at new technologies like AI, ML, blockchain, IoT. They are bundle of technologies. But whatever the technology that suits the those products. Earlier, people used to work more on, now also they're working on Java. Instead of that, how they can leverage the new technologies, right? So organization level also technology leaders or whoever, they need to continuously brainstorm into those areas and see how they can leverage the new technologies, which gives a user-friendly product, right? And thereby it also helps to enhance the agility part of it. That is what little bit more I want to add. And coming to the 10th principle, right, art of maximizing the amount of work not done means identifying the non-value added activities, right? That is what which you also told, and just want to emphasize on that. Say, for example, if you have a technical debt that is involved in the application, even though that is one of the greatest applications, the performance is getting down because of the technical debt, right? So, as a team, we can plan like how can we reduce the technical debt in multiple speeds, right? And say, for example, you are building a new application where it has, or an existing application which has a lot of touch points, right, throughout the customer journey before he reaches the final destination of payment or getting something, right? So how can we reduce those touch points so that the customer can start using that application simpler and easier, right? So identifying those painful customer touch points and trying to. So these are a couple of examples with respect to Principle 10. And talking about the self-organized teams, right? Whatever you told is pretty much there, right? Self-organized teams often, they don't have any boss. They know what they need to do, right? They know how they need to do. They are highly independent, right? They're highly organized. They are independent in terms of decision making. They are highly motivated. They know what are the challenges in the project. They know they have a strategy in place, right? If some product is given to them, the leadership level is rest assured that they are going to deliver that product, right? So that is the kind of level of what you say, level of team strongness that they have as part of self-organized, right? And the last one is saying that this also applies at the individual and the team and organization. At every stage, people need to introspect themselves. They need to pass and they need to introspect like what way they are and what are the effective things that they can do or acquire at the individual level, right? And move forward. At the team level, what are the process improvements that we can make so that we can move forward? And at the organization level, what are the strategic changes that we can make so that it will help us to sustain in the competitive market in the long run. So this is how we need to interpret these principles. And at the same point of time, usually in interviews, people ask like, what are the process improvements as a Scrum Master or a Guru certificate? People look around a lot of things, but these 12 principles, if you are able to gauge properly and measure and see if you are able to make improvements, that itself is the biggest achievement for a Scrum Master, right? These are a couple of points which I got.
Thank you, Sharad. Those were very informative. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sharad. And just to add on, I would like to add one point for the 10th principle. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Yes, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. We as an organization might be having enough time, effort, and budget to get these many items or the requirements. But what if the end user is expecting only this much? We might not need to deliver each and everything just because we have time and effort or budget from our side, right? So that is also one of the principle where it is coming, maximizing the amount of work not done. Because if I have to talk about my first project, it was a waterfall project which spread across 6 years. After the completion of the 6th year, out of 100 requirements which we gathered, 20% of the requirements was identified that might not be required at that point towards end of the completion of the project. But because we defined in the project definition stage, we went ahead and implemented it. So when we know the customer might not be required or might not be using it, we don't need to spend our time and effort on them. That is also coming as the 10th principle, art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Even though we might have defined it, we might not be required to implement it. That's where the continuous feedback, continuous showcasing the valuable working software also, we by getting the feedback from the customers also will help. Okay.
Anybody wants to share their thoughts, move ahead. After that, we'll have Q&A. Please go ahead and share your thoughts.
Thank you, Satish, for the inputs.
Satish, great example shown. Actually, it was a tricky principle, right?
Because that's where the reality is happening in many projects.
Yeah.
Customers are keep on adding the requirements, but they're not ready to cut short the planned defined requirements. That is where the product owner plays a key role there. So we as a Scrum Master or coach might help the team to set the context, but the product owner, the business team is the one who should take the decision on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agree with you. Great example. That was a very. I was always not clear on that. what does that say actually?
Yeah, sure. Just to add on, like in our childhood, we used to get hundreds of channels, satellite. I mean, the cable TV. We might not be using them, but still we end up paying 500 or what are the charges. Now it is all pay per use. We are using 5 channels or even 1 channel or movie paying and using. That's it. That is what the simplicity is all about.
Yes.
Give
yes.
what is just required for the customer. That's it.
Yes, Satish. And Akash, great session. Thanks for all the patience with all the basics and all the stuff. One comment, or I don't know what to say, the question or a comment. This increment every sprint, right? In reality, sometimes it is not. See, we say like we choose Agile for complex projects and all, but sometimes we also have spikes, or we also have. Can you please go to that slide, Akash? That Stacy graph or.
Sure. Just a second.
Yeah.
Where is my Zoom?
Yeah. So I'll continue to ask my question. So the point, sometimes in every at the end of every sprint, we may not have meaningful delivery in reality, right? Sometimes we just move on. So that's my thing. Like sometimes we are not really, like the picture you showed, right? Not every time it is possible. That's my view on the reality. So is it the same case with everyone, or
yeah, I think it's the same case really. Yeah, every time you don't get something done, I mean something measurable that you can demo, but then again, that is what we do in the retrospective. So you now go to the retrospective and ask, so what happened? Why couldn't we get something done? Did we overcommit? Did we take in too much? Again, that's what we want to know.
Right.
We take it to the retrospective to discuss.
Yeah.
And also, I would say the spikes are used for some research purposes, right? So if you are using the spike, right, even like in general, these spikes are mostly technical, right? Where we do some technical researches and all those things. So that is also a deliverable, because we can show, okay, what is the research we did, or like we did some, we try to figure out in using this spike, we try to figure out if our software would work as good as it is working at present with Java 8 or Java 7, right? So whatever your outcome is, that may be technical, then you should have your architects or technical person on the call of on the sprint review call, and you can showcase them that, okay, this is what we achieved, and this spike would give us these many user stories, and we can work on it, which will be more of a MVP to the end user.
Understood, Akash. Yeah, agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to add just one more thing from my end as well, because as you mentioned, Jiva, there have been so many of the scenarios in our team as well where we didn't had many of the things to present from the end customer perspective. Like we were working on the enablers and the configuration stuffs. So, but we did presented those things in the review with the point of mind that going forward, we'll be using these stories as a platform and we'll be working upon the next. So we were mentioning the focus areas for the next sprint with the ground rule that with the means laying the foundation what we did in the current sprint. So they were able to connect the dots, and it was kind of adding value, not directly but indirectly it was.
And also, I would just add one more thing here. Sharath and Satish or anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. But if your sprint has all the spikes, then I believe you need to really work on your sprint planning. So it should be a combination of your functional user stories and the spikes in a
Exactly.
single.
Yeah. So if you say that you're getting so many spikes in the sprint, again, what did we do in the backlog refinement? So we should identify some things in the backlog refinement. So those stories do they actually meet our definition of ready?
Mhm.
If there's so much if we don't seem to know anything, then why did we say it's ready for the sprint? So we need to
Right.
look again. Maybe we didn't meet the definition of ready.
Right. Thank you, Dris. Thank you, Dishant.
Eh,
Thank you, Jiva.
And also, just to add on, like there are very few projects where only one single agile team works from the end product perspective. So even if our team, one or two stories could be adding up to the overall increment from the version perspective, yes, even that helps from showcasing that end user value and getting the feedback.
Yeah, ideally, my thought is it should be a mix of both. But what if the backlog is not ready? We can't sit idle, right? So in that case, we can execute these what we call it as engineering sprints, where we will take it out the prerequisites about the infra requirements, right? Getting at the development and ensuring that we have the right architectures in place, whether it's app architecture or network architecture, right? Getting those in place, getting those up, ensure that everyone is aligned, right? So all those kind of work that is involved, we can create those stories and continue those engineering sprints as a prerequisite, which we call it as sprint zero, right? And until we get to that level where we can start executing the business. So yeah, that is how we do. If the business stories are ready, then start executing.
Yeah, agree with you, Sharath. Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Thank you, Jiva. Thank you, Sharath. Any other questions, suggestions?
So can all the folks connect to that feedback link and provide your feedback?
I have a couple of questions. Can I ask?
Definitely.
Yeah. So there are two things that I have facing the difficulty that's in a Scrum team. See, one thing is a self-organizing team, and second is feedback retrospect, right? So the first point for a self-organizing team, one thing that from my experience is like the people with experience. See, for an example, if a person with the 10 years of developer experience is self-organized, rather than people with 1 year of experience is not a self-organized. So how we can leverage that? So that's the first question. Second question is a feedback retrospect, right? So feedback in the sense we always we deliver a product, but when it goes to customer, it always comes back as issues. Okay, this issue is there, that issue is there in the product. It always goes on to a loop saying that we still know that when we deliver the minimum viable product, there will be an issue. There will be set of issues that we are delivering, but still that customer feedback is always comes back to us saying that it is always an issue rather than a new feature or I mean the improvement towards improving the product. So that is one. Second is retrospect in my organization still not happened anywhere close. For an example, we need to deliver a product in 1 month. Okay, so we delivered it, and then there is no collaborative feedback of getting to know from people saying that hey, what is the issue that you faced, what is the issue that guy faced. It is always like okay, we have done it, the things are done, and we move to the other project, another set of things. So the retrospect, in the sense, like, where getting the feedback from people, it is not happening via, like, I mean, junior level of people, or, every team members. It is always happens on a high level, like product managers and a technical architect will discuss what are the problems they face, and, they get the things done. So how to resolve these two?
Okay.
I think it's good if we can go one by one question. I think Yoga, right?
Yeah.
Yoga, can you please repeat the question one with respect to self-organized teams?
Self-organization team, first is, I mean, people with more experience are self-organized. People with less experience are not self-organized. So how to handle them, or, how to give you the feedback, how to make them understand the process.
Let's share our thoughts here. Anyone wants to share their thoughts?
I would like to say my 10-year-old kid is more self-organized than my 1-year-old kid, right? So I mean, it's more or less the same way. Like, so that's where, as a Scrum Master, we might have to help the new members. So as an Agile team, there might not be difference from the experience perspective, but they might be new to the process, new to the way of working, new to the approach. So initially, yes, we might be have to help them understand the context, understand the concepts. And when we take a look at the whole team perspective, the forming, storming, norming, performing stages come. We have to focus on how the whole team comes together, how the whole team improves their way of working and everything. Yes, some cases, new team members, or maybe the freshers, or the less experienced members joining the team, or even if I join your team, I might be fresher to your team. So I might take some time to get settled with the team, the way of working and everything. So it might take some time. So how quick, how well the individual's mindset comes into context, and that is where our role as a coach or as a Scrum Master to help them understand the context and go ahead will be coming into context.
Yeah. Just to add on there, there comes the individual and interactions as well, right? So that manifesto which talks about, so that is there for a reason. So if any handholding is required, if you are sitting next to each other, then you can definitely get that understanding, and you can speed up, or you can speed up the grooming of the next person who has joined your team. And whenever we talk about sprint planning and all those things, all these things we take into the consideration while doing the sprint planning, that okay, there are a couple of new joiners who joined us, and there are 3 or 4 experienced people. So that way we handle those things based on the situation.
And just to add to that, right, whatever these guys have put, very good explanation, logical reasoning. And Scrum Master also should help that guy understand why part of it, why we need to be something, what is the importance, what are the benefits that we are going to get as part of making self-confidence, and how it will leverage you and help you grow as an individual as part of a team, and how you can contribute to the team level. So if you can help them understand these budding guys, yeah, as Satish told, 1-year kid is little different in terms of understand. Maybe he takes his own course of time to understand, but definitely people will understand. And in the worst case, if they don't understand, then maybe we have to take some action. They are at a, usually people take their time and understand, make themselves involved. But we need to help them understand why we have everything, not only this, anything that you are going to tell the team, help them understand first why. Then automatically they will get aligned.
And Yoga, to your last question, where you said that your project is done, you do not get any feedback, right? Sorry, because I'm just jumping from first to third question directly. It is more I see of again mindset where we have to come out of the project mindset to a product mindset. So if we are delivering something as a product, then definitely we will have that feedback loops, and we will have those opportunities where we can get the feedback. And the product management are the ones who are facing the customer, and they would come up with the challenges which end user faced, and we as a Scrum teams, we get as a result of that feedback, we get some user stories or some bugs in our backlog.
And just to add on, only the few folks are taking part in the feedback or the retro session, right, Yoga? So the way how we are doing right now, I shared the feedback link in the chat, and I'm asking the participants. So that is one way we do in our typical teams as well. During the sprint planning itself, we'll share the retrospective link and share that throughout the sprint, whenever at any point of time, if you feel any feedback or any improvement to be added, identified, add it to the retrospective board. Towards end of the sprint, we can discuss. So because sometimes towards end of the 2-week sprint, not everyone might be remembering or recollecting that improvements or anything as such required. So there is one best practice which we follow. Share the retrospective link during the sprint planning itself and make it active. Maybe once a week, if it is a 2-week sprint, we can remind the team that, hey, can you go ahead and add your retrospective or any action items which you face during the sprint? Or if we as a Scrum Master also identify something, we can also add it and we can mention added by Scrum Master, added by coach, and we can mention, hey, let's discuss during the retrospective. Yes, Umesh shared an idea boards link. Yes, this is what we typically use. It's a anonymous tool, right? So none of the IDs or the names or anything will be tracked. It will help the participants also to open up and give the feedback.
No, the problem is there is no, implementation of, accepting as a feedback. That is a problem. Like it is always happens on a top level. It will not happen on a people level. So how to leverage that? Like, we need to make the people understand, right? So we as a people or a tester or a developer working onto something, we face a lot of issues. Like, by the time that we finish one set of a development, the other set of development comes and, hey, add this feature, add this feature. So that we are not heard. That is a basic thing. Like, how
maybe
to...
Yeah, got it. So maybe you can try using these idea boards for the upcoming sprint, share it, and throughout the sprint, you can ask your team to add the pointers. And towards the end of the sprint, even if your team haven't got an opportunity to take part in an official retrospective discussion, you can share this retrospective as a screenshot to your management and say, hey, next time, do you want to have a discussion with the team directly involving, so that the team's pain points or the challenges also can be considered? The suggestions, the improvements can be brought up at any point of.
Yoga, correct me if I'm not wrong. I think you are saying more from the IT perspective, right? People keep on introducing features, but they don't understand the problems from the IT side in terms of capacity or in terms of technical challenges, right? But just keep on pushing the features, right? They don't take leadership, don't take feedback from the next level. That is what you're saying.
Correct.
Yeah. That's again a tough situation, and understood. So in those kind of situations, what we can do as a Scrum Master is to reflect those challenges, right? That is the best way that we can do, and help the leadership understand these are the kind of challenges that we are facing. And once we do this, what we call in coaching as show them the mirror, right? If we are able to, if a Scrum Master is able to succeed in that area, I strongly trust in a group of or in a board of 5 people leadership, maybe at least one person will understand what are the current challenges that we are going to find out ways which will help us to deliver better, right? Just crying on those challenges or keeping those challenges aside won't help either the parties. Right? Neither the team will be satisfied nor the leadership will be satisfied in terms of it. So they will find out the middle ground if we are able to radiate them much better. Whatever the problems that we get out.
So to bring on that, to bring on that Agile Manifesto, build projects around motivated individuals. Right. So how we can help the team or the individuals get motivated is by highlighting the challenges the team is facing or going through to the leadership team, because they are the ones who can help to resolve these pain points or the challenges which the team is going. And to answer your second question, Jiva, Yoga, end of the sprint, you will be getting the issues in the form of feedback. Yes, it could be when it might not be an issue. When we can call it as an issue, if it is not meeting the acceptance criteria, then we can call it as an issue. But if it is meeting the acceptance criteria, and if we are getting it as feedback, we can consider it as a change request or as a new story or a new implementation. For example, if the login screen has like a login button, we, as per the acceptance criteria, we implemented it. During the demo, the customer came back and said that rather than login, can we change it as sign in? That's not an issue because it is implemented as per the acceptance criteria as defined. Right. So it should be defined as a new scope or new story or new feature, whatever it is, and it should be implemented as per the prioritization. We need to let the product owner take the prioritization, reprioritize maybe in the subsequent sprint or whenever it is feasible or possible, and we should take it up. That is not to be considered as an issue. Yes, Jiva?
Thank you. Yeah.
If you permit, maybe out of the box solution I can give.
Sure.
Yoga, this is Jiva here. I think your sound conveys a lot more your situation. My practical thing is, sometimes there is no straight answer. Take off or go to a bar.
Yeah.
Take a beer. Take a
Go, yeah,
whatever.
do whatever you want, you do.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, whatever you people want to do, you do.
No. See, sometimes we have to live with the certain people, certain situations. Sir, no answers. Honestly, I'll tell you, Satish Kolla was with me when I think a year ago. I think I was very frustrated. Sorry for the word. I didn't know what to do. Then I was just talking to Satish. I was like 1 hour of call, I think. Then I understood. Okay, we just have to pass on. So take our numbers or be part of some group, just bang on, release your tension. Then again, the cycle will come, like you will have a happy days ahead. No other choice, sir. And we have to be there for each other. That's it. A friend in need. I always call like agile friend in need, like, switching on video, sitting in front of camera. It's very, very tough, sir. It's easy to speak on mute. Switch video. So I hope you're getting it right, Yoga, right? Like, keep in touch with us, speak to us, feel free to take, interact with us, and enjoy.
Most of the time, the problem is the people not here. That's the only thing.
Absolutely, sir. Understood. See, some people are broad-minded. Some people are maybe good at that day, that situation, they are bad, or personal life situation, maybe love failure or wife problem, or lot of practical situations might trigger us. Like, I got good friends, and with Satish group and all, like every day he throws something. I admire his consistency, and I think I was also not that great, actually. I'm changing, I'm adapting, I'm accepting that I have to have patience. I was not great. I'm still not great, but I was not that good at all where I am today. So travel with us, speak to us, and your situation will change, sir. That's my quick answer. I'll pause here. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Yoga, for bringing it up. Yeah. Sorry, Satish. I think I just went on my own.
Sure.
So, thank you, sir.
Yoga, just to add on the Jiva's point, right? So listening is what is being considered as a true virtue. Not everyone is ready to listen. Everyone is just ready to, especially the leadership roles or the management, by any specific perspective, right? So some engagement, some implementation, some perspectives, it comes that I'm the boss, I'm the leader, I'm the client. You need to listen whatever I say, or you need to do whatever I say. So situations come, yes, but how effectively we can showcase, yes, the way we mentioned, right? The idea boards, just publish the anonymous retro to your leadership and see what they say, what they feel. They might be taking action or improvement as the next step. but at least they might see what the team is going through, what the challenge. 2 sprints, 3 sprints, 4 sprints. Let's see what happens or how it might improve. Right?
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, we're putting the time. Okay. A final call. Any questions? Anyone?
No, sir, all great so far.
So this can be one interview question that what kind of resistance you are facing. So I'm just curious to know how to answer that we are facing such kind of resistance in our team. So how you can handle as a scrum master for this situation that team members
I
are
think
not.
Jiva already provided a solution earlier, right? So better to know that.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Well, that's the answer to all the worries, not just one.
And
Definitely.
Yoga's questions is the sort of resistance we might be getting as a scrum master, right? The feedback not heard, or the team is customer is not ready to accept our pain points or challenges. Those are the type of resistances which we as a scrum master might be facing.
What I understood from my experience is people show resistance because of 2-3 reasons. One thing is with respect to not understanding what we need as a ground reality, right? That's where people show a lot of resistance. And when we don't explain them why part of it and just asking them to do what we need, right? As a scrum master, then that will also then they show a lot of resistance, right? Yeah, they don't know why we are doing and how it's going to make a difference, right? And third thing is a lot of apprehensions, like insecurity, right? If at all I will be moved from the role of project manager to scrum master, my my role will be degraded, right? Or there are some apprehensions like I'll be added more responsibilities. I'm satisfied with where I am. That fear, growth, and comfort zone. We have something in agile coach, right, Satish? So they might be in comfort zone and don't want to move forward. So a lot of things will be there, which lead to that resistance, right? So that's where you need to play the role of a coach out there, right? And help them understand. See, if you are trying to change the entire organization, right, or a line of business, it's not that easy, right? If you are able to achieve at least 70% of it, then you are done, right? Always there will be that 10% who will be left out and who don't want to, change as part of the overall transmission. So for that, you need to go to the next step and see, if something is not changed, then maybe it will lead to something else, right? So those kind of approach you need to take for the rest of 10%. That is how you need to handle the systems. Please go ahead.
Sorry, Sharad. Sorry to interrupt. I was just saying I can give you a very recent example which I have faced. Like we recently started our sprinting, and we are around into our 6th or 7th sprint. And since beginning, after understanding the project and all those things, all the workflow, right? I'm just talking about a very simple example where we just needed an additional workflow or additional status in Jira, okay, which can help my team to not see much carryovers. For that, I have to talk to fleet level leadership and talk to different leadership, and have to really had one-on-one. I had one-on-ones with everyone, and then combined everybody together and made them understand, okay, this is the pain point which we are facing. This is why I'm saying. And they were not ready to change because they said that this is the workflow which was decided by the Agile COE, and we cannot change it, and we do not want to change it because I worry that metrics will get impacted or XYZ things will get impacted. But after 6 sprints, when they saw that there are a lot of carryovers, teams though the teams are understanding Agile and they are doing well, but still we are facing a lot of carryovers in every sprint. then again I came in and I again had a discussion with them. This is the reason I'm keep on asking you from sprint one that this is the change which we need. If it is not provided to us, then this situation will continue to grow. So sometimes they need a proper example. Sometimes they want a stats kind of thing, because they all at management level, they all believe in statistics. Give us some good measurements and good stats, then we can only talk about those issues. So at times a scrum master has to step up and he has to put extra efforts in order to make the voice of your scrum team heard at the leadership level. That's my 2 cents. That's it.
Thanks.
Just to add, means as mentioned by Anand, Akash, and Satish, that we all have a human tendency that we tend to not to listen to our lower ones. Like we all have that dilemma that the manager is not listening to us. Similarly, we are also in a situation that the higher management not listening to us, because in the human tendency back of the mind we have that we have a power, so we are the decision makers. So that's where our role comes up, that we have to make them listen, and we have to make them listen in such a way that we are emphasizing on what they want, like the typical advertisement kind of a stuff. We have to endorse our team and their challenges in a more presentable way, so that they can also understand our pain and they can work upon it.
Right, good point, Dishan.
Thank you.
Right, good discussions.
Okay,
any other?
Can we call it a day, or any other questions? All right.
Already you arranged this session on long weekend and you have spent lots of time. So I really thank you guys. You are putting lots of effort to make people understand. Salute, bro. Great.
Yeah. I forgot one thing. So, I want to thank each and every individual speaker who's coming forward voluntarily and contributing on a just a single call. We are just giving a single call in the groups, and people are coming forward and sharing their great experiences. And so thanks and kudos to all the speakers who have contributed till date. I request each and everyone who has that capability to contribute, come to me or Satish, and we will add you to the speakers group. And any day, you can share your date and time for 1 hour and can be a good speaker, right? So please contribute over there. Okay. With this, I want to close this session. Thanks everyone for your valuable time and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Happy
guys.
Independence
Thanks,
Day.
everyone.
Enjoy the Amrit Mahotsav.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.